Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. We are about 2 minutes away from the beginning of the ceremony. We'll ask everybody to please find a seat. Thank you. Good afternoon, and welcome to this exciting event. My name is Dr. Susan Fritz. I have the pleasure of serving as a Doane University trustee. I am also chair of the Building and Grounds Committee. There are a number of individuals who were key to the development and completion of this beautiful residence hall I stand in front of. I would like to publicly acknowledge their contributions. We will hold our applause until everyone has been acknowledged. First of all, we thank the creative and professional service of Clark and Enerson in the design phase of this project. Then the partnership with Sampson Construction resulted in not only a building that was on time and under budget, but also a welcoming, safe, modern home away from home for our Doane students. We thank the partnership with the City of Crete. Obviously, this building was erected in the middle of historic Crete with implications for utilities, storm runoff, and a host of other logistics. We also are grateful for the assistance of the Saline County Commissioners in pursuing a bond strategy that helped finance part of the new building. There are also a number of Doane University employees who participated in and contributed to the design and construction phases. Many of them are present at this ceremony. Please join me in thanking all of these individuals. The process of designing this new hall involved the groups that I have mentioned and more. For example, student feedback and student voices were part of the design process. The design team met for months collecting and sorting through information and its implications for design. It was a thoughtful, deliberative, and inclusive process. I had the honor of serving on the design team, and I would like to boast a bit. I think we got it right. Now, on behalf of the trustees of Doane University, I want to give my thanks to all of you present. Today we will name what will quickly become an iconic building for the campus and the city, taking its place among the many hallmark buildings on this beautiful campus. Consequently, it will be indelibly etched in the memories and the hearts of the alumni as they reflect on their Doane experiences. It is now my pleasure to introduce Doane University President, Dr. Roger Hughes.
Good afternoon. I'm Roger Hughes, President of Doane University, and on behalf of Doane, I want to express my deepest gratitude for your attendance and welcome you to this momentous occasion as we gather to celebrate the dedication of our new residence hall on our gorgeous residential campus. Today marks a significant milestone in our university's history, and it's with immense gratitude that I stand before you. First and foremost, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Board Chair Paul Shellstraight, Dr. Susan Frist, the rest of the Board of Trustees, and all of those Dr. Fritz previously mentioned. Your collaboration and support have been invaluable, and we are grateful for your dedication to excellence and your commitment to the university's vision. Before we move to the unveiling, I would be remiss to not extend our heartfelt appreciation for all those who have played a pivotal role in organizing today's ceremony. First, a sincere thank you to everyone who helped coordinate the ribbon-cutting ceremony back in January. Additionally, I want to express our gratitude to the committee of employees and partners who have worked tirelessly to organize today's naming ceremony. Your attention to detail and commitment to making this event memorable for all involved is deeply appreciated. Your dedication is showcasing our university's growth and progress, and it's truly commendable. Today, as we unveil the modern residence hall with state-of-the-art technology and amenities, and we affirm our commitment to providing an exceptional liberal arts education in a creative, inclusive, and collaborative community for our students. This building enhances the student experience and aligns perfectly with our university's missions. Since our founding July 11th in 1872, Doane University has remained steadfast in providing students with dedicated faculty, staff, and quality programs. Our commitment to continually improving the teaching and learning process remains our highest priority. Reflecting on our history from when our first students studied in Merrill Hall to the present, where our traditional campus stands as one of the most celebrated in the Midwest, we see the legacy of perseverance and excellence that defines Doane University. Today, as we dedicate the new residence hall, we celebrate and honor the legacy of those who have generously supported our other residence halls. Today's honoree joins our storied history with an incredible list of supporters, including Zion Hansen, Dwight Burridge, Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin Fries, Charles C. Smith, and Margaret Thompson Sheldon. The estate gift for whom this resident hall is named represents the largest gift Doane has ever received, demonstrating the immense generosity of our donors and underscoring their unwavering belief in the transformative power of education. And now it's time for the moment that we've all been waiting for. I would like to welcome Roger Sheffield to come up as representative of the donors family to help me on stage to unveil our new hall's name. Clearly, I need to hit the weights or get back on steroids, one or the other. It is with great honor that I officially present Doane's C. Donald Brody Hall. On a personal note, during my first visit to see Don's sister, Cora, in Toronto, she gave me the tie that Don wore to every board meeting he attended. And since that time, I have worn that same tie at every Doane board meeting. Let us celebrate this momentous occasion with joy and gratitude, knowing this new residence hall will serve as a beacon of learning, growth, and community for generations of Doane students to come. Now, I'm pleased to pass the mic to Roger Sheffield, founder and CEO of Aspen Philanthropy Group and the former Vice President of Institutional Advancement at Doane University.
I wasn't expecting to have to present today, but Roger asked me and Cora asked me as well, so I thought I would try and say a few words. I want to extend my sincere thanks to President Hughes for inviting me to participate in today's naming ceremony. And in particular, I want to thank Cora Brody. Cora, Don's sister, is a wonderful woman who I think some of you may know or have met along the way, but she's just a terrific lady at 93 years old and has the best dry sense of humor that you've ever heard and a wit that is unbelievable. She's a very bright woman, and she still drives the city of Toronto. She will not let anybody drive. I can't even pump her gas for her. I've got to sit in the car while she gets out and pumps the gas, pays the attendant, and I look like a total JA. I think one of these times I'm going to get smacked by somebody at the gas station for not getting out. My journey at Doan began when Fred, nice to see you, Fred, when Fred hired me to be the advancement vice president. And this college holds a very special place in my heart. It was my first vice presidency. I had a wonderful time here, and it was also the place where I got to know Don and Cora and started a nearly 25-year relationship with them. And we're still, in fact, I'm going up to Toronto to see Cora on the 19th. But during my time as vice president, I had the incredible opportunity of working alongside Don and his fellow trustees, many of who are here today, the Doan administration, the faculty, staff, students, and other really generous people to the college. We started a campaign at that time called A Course of Distinction, and it certainly was a course of distinction because Doan has always been a very distinctive liberal arts school in the state of Nebraska as well as the region and the nation. Don Brody actively participated in that campaign because of his deep affection for the Doan and its students. Whether it was engaging, if you ever lost Don at a board weekend, all you had to do was find him in a group of students, either on one of the paths, in the cafeteria, outside of a classroom, in the library. He relished his time with the students, talking to them about what it is they wanted to accomplish, why they chose Doan, and more importantly, where they were going and what they were going to do to change the world after they left Doan. And that's a key comment that all of us should be asking all college students, is not only what you're doing now, but how are you going to change the world to make it a better place? As a member of Doan's Board of Trustees, Don fulfilled his responsibilities with unwavering dedication, and I'm sorry. That's my investment company calling me. Whether it was engaging in the lively conversations or attending the meetings, and Don was one of those people. Cora wouldn't mind this, and neither would Don. Don was kind of quirky. He was his own person, a true Canadian. But in the meetings, in the board meetings, he would always sit back and just listen and take it in and think about what was being said. He didn't always talk in the meetings, but he was an active listener. And then he would come and talk to various people who presented during the meetings and ask them very specific questions about what they presented, what they were talking about, what was happening that he could learn from other people. And Don was a constant learner in that process. He shared his friendship and wisdom that he would, to the point where he would stay extra days at board meetings just to meet people. You'd see him down at the restaurant and meeting and talking to people. He just really loved the city of Crete, really loved Doan College and the whole region of Nebraska. Through Don's tireless efforts, he became an esteemed mentor and friend to countless individuals, me included. In the years following my departure from Doan, Don, Cora, and I remained very close, sharing countless conversations that enriched my life. Don never failed to celebrate birthdays, holidays, and important milestones with a call and a card, and most importantly, his postcards from all of his travels around the world. And Don was an extensive world traveler. On the Queen Mary's maiden voyage, a 99-day trip around the world, was one of them. He was on the last Concorde flight from Toronto, or from England to Toronto, and he did probably more than 100 different cruises throughout his life. He was definitely a cruise king. And his postcards were always great because they'd always be talking about who he met on what ship and when he was sitting at the captain's table and what famous person would come up. And in fact, in South Africa, he met Desmond Tutu. It was a stopover on that maiden voyage of the Queen Mary, and had his photo taken with the bishop, and was just those were the things that Don did that you wouldn't expect from Don if you just met him. He was that type of unassuming, friendly fellow. Don had a philanthropic ethos that all fundraisers really want to see in their donors. And by that, I mean, Don didn't have to become a philanthropist. Don was a philanthropist from day one. In Markham, Ontario, Canada, where he's from, everybody knows him. Now, Markham is a city of 500,000 people, a suburb of Toronto, if you can call a town of 500,000 a suburb. But anywhere around town, people would know him. When I go up there, when I went up there to visit him when he was alive, and now with Cora, you go into any restaurant, I shouldn't say that, you go in the restaurants they like to go to, and they all knew him, and they all knew Cora. And they were so generous in their feelings for him, and he was very generous in back to them. But Don would do some incredible things, and I think one of the most important things that he did was donate his homestead to the city of Richmond Hill, which is where it's located in that area. It was an 1834 homestead, and I believe he was the 7th generation of his family to live in that home, he and Cora. And now it's planned to be a respite and a park for that part of Richmond Hill area. And it's 12 acres plus the old stone, and it is a stone. Some people call it a cottage. It's a nice big house. Steve Rasmussen was there a couple of times. But additionally, Don, in his generosity, and Cora made sure that I was going to say this. She's got a checklist here of some of the things that she wanted me to make sure that I said, is his dedication and his legacy gifts in that area, in the Toronto, Markham area. He made a similar gift to the Markham Stouffville Hospital, a children's hospital in Montreal, the Easter Seals of Ontario, which is a charity that his mother became affiliated with in the 1950s, and they just had a special event last week, and they honored him for his legacy gift to them. He also made numerous charitable gifts to hundreds of other Canadian charities. His church and other various community needs. Don and Cora donated their house, sorry about that. He was an active member of the Lions Club of Canada and Rotary International, and through these two service clubs, Don received extensive awards for his work and generosity. And the Lions Club gave him their highest honor possible, and I don't know what that is, and I apologize. The plaque is on Cora's wall, so I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it's like the Rotary International Club award, excuse me. Since Don's passing in 2022, Cora and I have shared many experiences with each other and many, many, many stories on Don. President Hughes and Marty Fye can both attest that Cora has, with her dry sense of humor, wit, and intelligence, had an unwavering love and support for Don. She was not his mother, but acted quite like his mother. When you share a bedroom wall for 88 years, you become very close to someone. And she was very much in tune with understanding who he was and what he wanted to do. And I will tell you, Cora is made out of the same cloth. She's an incredibly generous woman and has done incredible things for various charities throughout Canada. And I'll tell you one that she received a phone call from a girls' camp about 60 miles north of of Markham, and this was about 10 years ago, and they needed a storage shed. So she built them a barn. Not any kind of barn. This barn is 200 feet long and 50 feet wide. And she said they needed places to store the fun things that women do on their summer camps and summer excursions. So she too has the philanthropy ethos. It is with a great pride, and I'm going to cut my stories here. There's so many I could tell. It is with immense pride that I'm here with Dr. Hughes to unveil the new building on behalf of Cora and Don, and in particular, Donald Brody. Don, he never liked the C part. This building stands as a symbol of Don's enduring love for Doane, its students, its success of students, and the unwavering belief in the power of education. May it forever inspire generations of students to embrace their potential and make a lasting impact in the world today. And now I'd like to introduce the fundraiser before me. So there's 3 former and current fundraisers for Doane here. So keep an eye on your pocketbooks, because we're in a campaign. We need to make this thing happen. So Steve, I'll turn it over to you.
One of the great things about being a fundraiser is you work for great people. You get a chance to meet new people. It's nice to reacquaint with you all, being back here. And you meet wonderful donors like Don Brody. I think I should mention that Don and Cora, when Doane first met them, there was a Doane family, a national Doane family, where Doane comes from. And we met with the Doane family at Mass Maritime Academy in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. That's when Janet Jeffries, where's Janet? You're here somewhere. And I met Don and Cora. This was in the middle of the summer, Cape Cod, humidity very high. We stayed in residence halls on steel beds that had no air conditioning. I about called Fred Brown and said, I think you need to up my salary if I have to stay in conditions like this. Don did not wince. He was happy to be there. He was happy to be around people. And that began a 23-year relationship that Don and Cora have had with Doane through many people who have seen him, including Roger and others. Don served as trustee for 12 years at this college. I have an interesting story about Don. When I left Doane in 2000, Don came down to Santa Fe, where my wife and I moved, and stayed with us for a week. And I was happy to see him. And we had a bedroom for him. And I got up one morning at 6 o'clock, and I still had my skivvies on, going out to put coffee on, and Don was there on the couch, dressed in his suit and tie, and said, "Don't mind me." But what are we going to do today? We had a special event at church, and he was probably at church an hour after I was because he met so many people. Our choir sang on Sunday. He came up and sang in the choir because Don also was a good singer and sang in a men's quartet for many, many years. I guess my main point is his human interaction was infectious. He was innately curious. He was a gentleman all the time. And what a blessing it is to meet somebody like that. Don loved this school somehow through all those interactions, somehow through all the presidents we've had, through the interactions he's had with people. He loved the students. After all, if we don't have students, we don't have a college. And what his gift has done, as Dr. Hughes mentioned, this is the largest gift in the history of the college. It literally is going to change this institution. I've seen institutions that a gift this size, and it elevates their expectation of themselves, of their students, of the trustees, who are, as I said before, a keeper of the stories. You all have stories of Doane. Don has stories. This hall will help remember some of those stories that are important, and stories that are continue to being made in this hall, in these rooms, in the classroom. So when you all who live in Crete drive by here, you'll see this beautiful hall, this latest addition to the Doane campus. But know that the soul is really in the faculty and staff and the students who choose to attend this place. And how lucky we are to have Doane College in this wonderful community. And I'd like to bring up one of our most important people today, Harper Case, who said we may not have enough time to say what we want to say. You take all the time you want, my dear.
Hi, my name is Harper Case. I am a sophomore double major in elementary education and special education, and I am also involved in the volleyball team as well as the student athlete leadership program, and I have loved my time here at the school. This semester, I had the opportunity to join a lot of members of the Doane community and move into this new hall. I think that moving into the new building, there was a lot of anticipation of what was to be and what was to come, and I can truthfully say that the people who helped structure this building and community really lived up to the idea that we had all formulated in our heads. I know one of the things I was most excited about was the layout for each suite itself. There were a lot of niche things to be happy about, like the shower shoes I no longer had to wear, but I think beyond that, I am grateful for the space that was created for me to turn a suite into a home that I was able to share with 5 of my favorite people. Obviously, the amenities given helped make the semester so enjoyable, such as the large windows, the single bedrooms, and the overwhelming amount of space for the 6 of us to create a homey living environment. Part of what made this experience so unique was that it felt like a community within itself. Having a full kitchen downstairs as well as a full fridge in our rooms and a full kitchen made meal prepping really easy and made dinners as a whole suite not an anomaly but a regularity. Within that, there was also a sense of security, knowing that the 6 of us were the only people who could fully get into our suite. Along with these, having an elevator was an extreme blessing because as someone who lives on the 3rd floor, moving in was really easy knowing that I didn't have to trudge a fridge up 3 flights of stairs. So I am forever thankful to whoever was cognizant enough to put one of those in there. The thoughtfulness did not stop there, though, because this building has beautiful spaces for studying, which, when living with people that you actually enjoy, attempting homework and studying can be extremely hard. But to be fair, having a ping pong table right outside the study room isn't exactly fair either, so I take what I can get. Ultimately, I am most thankful for everyone who donated to this building and helping me find a space where my best friends and I were able to create a home filled with laughter and love and stories for a lifetime. And although I wasn't lucky enough to meet Don, I did get to meet Brian, and Brian helped make this building, and I think that genuinely Don would have been very grateful to meet Brian and know him, and he would have loved who he is and what he embodies. Because as someone who asks a lot of questions, Brian got a lot of emails from me, and he has totally turned around the community of Doane, and I am so proud that I get to know him. And now I'd like to introduce Jim Keck.
So it is common across all religious traditions to bless a home. Now, I know this is not exactly a home, but wouldn't we hope that it truly is the spirit of a home for all the lives that will pass through here? Now, when a religion or any tradition blesses a home, they're praying that a good spirit will reside there, both in the building itself, but also in the land itself. So I want us to bless this place, and to help us do that, I want to tell you my most favorite word in our Bible. The word is shalom. Now we translate that into the word peace, but shalom means something far deeper and wider than just peace. In the Hebrew, shalom means fulfillment or completeness. Shalom means manifesting your destiny, being the person that you should be and can be. And so I want us to pray a spirit of shalom upon this building. So many lives will come through here seeking their completeness. So I need you to indulge a spiritual leader. For this blessing, I want you to hold up your hand towards the building. Almighty God, we pray now the spirit of peace upon this land and building. We pray that you will bless it with a light of love and hope, that it will be filled with beautiful conversations and friendships, that there will be a mutual respect of the dignity of every person, that the lives that reside here will be on their way to greater things. We pray, O God, a spirit upon this building, and the people say together, Shalom. Shalom.